Tennessee, come out and play.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big breaking TV.
Yo, what's poppin', Henny? Gang. Bar is open, y'all. I smell a debunking video coming on. Child. Least we not forget, this is Hennessy Reviews.
Having a fun time.
Yo, what's poppin'? Oh, let me get this off of my screen. What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the bar. Now, this is going to be one of those straightforward types of videos. I know I just did a video where I was talking about 50 Cent, and I know a lot of you are probably like, Henny, what the heck is going on? Because you are not talking about Wack. You are not talking about Krishan. What is going on? Well, Henny is expanding into new places and spaces, and I appreciate everybody who is here taking that journey with me, supporting anything and everything content that I do. So shout out to all of y'all that do follow me for that. I will continue on reporting on those other two sectors that I am a part of. However, I'm going to start tapping into a lot of things. And this video right here is going to be a serious video. I'm really not going to do too much in the way of joking. I'm not really going to give too much of my opinion. I will give some of my opinion. I may crack some jokes, but it's not going to be like your normal court doc read. This is a serious case. And in case you guys do not know who Shannon Atkins is, let me just say this first. Let me go ahead and make this quick banner for y'all, because should anything happen to my channel, please go and follow me at my other channel, which I have begun here on YouTube, just in case. Okay, so if anything happens to this channel, please go follow at this channel that is listed below. Hennessy Reviews X2, which is actually ×2, just in case. So yeah, please go run that up. Seriously though, so if you do not know who Shannon Atkins is the person who they are saying made a threat to DJT. Because I don't even really want to say his name too tough either, because I'm not sure how this video is going to go. But it's been all over the blogs, and local news media outlets have covered this case. And of course, you know that there are those who are very upset because they are in support of DJT. Now, if you don't know who DJT is, someone will let you know down in the comment section. But for now, this is Shannon. Shannon goes by the name Big Mama. He is a part of the LGBTQ community. He does drag shows in West Palm Beach, and is very vocal about his non-support of who is in office at this particular moment. Now, this is nothing new. We've all heard of people speaking out very loudly when they are not in support of someone who is sitting in office at the moment. They do not subscribe to a lot of the things and policies and stances that they take on. A lot of people, if you don't know, they're below me. All right. So, but he's been very vocal, and it seems that how he even got on the radar to get arrested is just as interesting to me as everything else. So I found this news from Fox News. I'm not sure which media branch it is, because as you know, Fox News is nationwide. But this news article right here, well, not article, clip, tells you how they got on to Shannon's radar, or how Shannon got on their radar. I'm nervous as hell, y'all, but I'm going to push through this.
Hey, John, it was a tip called into the FBI that led police to a social media page that raised many red flags. So police say 46-year-old Shannon Atkins from West Palm Beach was arrested last night near his home after they found a series of violent posts that threatened the life of President Trump. Now, you can see here are screenshots at a press conference of the Facebook post that police say led to his arrest. He claims he was banned from X after writing, quote, "I hope and pray someone kills him." He goes on to write on that post, quote, "History is supposed to repeat itself. We haven't had an assassination in years." Now, West Palm Beach Police Department chief, he commented, he said, "In today's climate, you really can't say things like this." Less than a week removed from President Trump's inauguration, authorities are taking these threats extremely seriously after 2 attempts on President Trump's life in just 7 months, the most recent taking place miles from his home in Mar-a-Lago. Now, according to our affiliate, Atkins is facing 1 count of written or electronic threats to kill, do bodily injury, or conduct a mass shooting or an act of terrorism, a 2nd-degree felony. So very serious threats. Police also say he had 3 bags of cocaine on him at the time of his arrest. Police also say that Atkins claims that these posts were just a joke, but now the Secret Service will decide if he faces federal charges. John?
So, someone saw his post and decided to make a call to the FBI, as you heard. Now, I did take the time to scroll through some of his posts on his page. He is very, like I said, very vocal. I have not gone to his Twitter X because I'm not even sure if I really want to post some of the things that have been said. So this is the post that they were talking about in the news article. Okay, and Big Mama does do catering called Big Mama Sweets. And listen, as you can see right here, very vocal about how he is not in support of Trump at all. Oh God, I didn't mean to play that. But this is his timeline, okay? He was very upset when he woke up and found out that Trump and the First Lady or the First Family were a part of the people that he was following, but he was not following them. He's saying that, Facebook automatically did that for him, and that was not something that he was into. If you support, your favorite color is 3, okay? Again, like I said, very vocal about his stance on things. This is a look at his Instagram page. Now, I do have this up right here because Shannon will be in court. Okay, they're asking people to show up to the main courthouse at 205 North Dixie Highway in West Palm Beach, Florida, courtroom 11H. Okay, on Wednesday, the 29th, which is today. And I wish that I could have been there, but I can't. 10:30 a.m. sharp. Okay, please be early to be seated. It is a public hearing. All right. So as we speak right now, Big Mama is in court. Okay. And this is his Instagram page that shows, the drag shows and things that he has done. So I'm bringing that up only because we already know how there have been stances and policies put into place. And Trump definitely is not in support of a lot of the things that Shannon is in support of. But we are not here for that. That is not the conversation that we're here to have. We are here to find out what exactly has been going on. So we do have his booking fact sheet, face sheet. So this is what they have picked him up for. Like they said, it is intimidation, written electronic threat to unalive, bodily harm another, written threats to unalive or do bodily injury is what he was charged with on this face sheet right here. He is very tall, by the way, because he is 6'7" tall. So, all right, right here, we're going to go through the affidavit. This is the police department's arrest and notice to appear. But I want to read this to you guys right here, which is the probable cause affidavit, okay? And it names him as the defendant right here. And then the victim's name is the United States President Donald J. Trump, okay? And it lists the address of the White House. It says on January 19th of 2025 at 21:10 hours, the FBI Palm Beach County Resident Agency received a credible complaint of written threats to commit violence against newly elected President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, hereby addressed in this affidavit as the President. Your affidavit is a violent crimes detective. Oh, your affiant, is a violent crimes detective with the West Palm Beach Police Department and currently assigned to the FBI Safe Streets Task Force and has been in this role since July 2021. Complaint was reported by Jason Kite by submitting an online tip which was received by the FBI National Threat Operations Center. Kite was concerned by the statements expressed written by Facebook user Shannon Atkins. Kite provided the post ostensibly made by Atkins, which stated the following. On January 19th, Atkins wrote on his Facebook page, I've been banned from X because I said I hope and pray someone unalives him. History is supposed to repeat itself. We haven't had an unaliving in years. Kite also reported the following threat by Atkins. Please, Jesus, save America. Kite commented on Atkins' Facebook post by stating the following. MAGA is winning, cope, snowflake. Atkins then directly replied to Kite's comment by writing the following. Jason Kite, F you, you're an idiot. The are coming. Contact was made with Jason Kite, a resident of Okeechobee, Florida. Kite felt the comment made by Facebook user Shannon Atkins were threats directed to the president and or the president's supporters. Jason Kite has no association with Shannon Atkins and has never met him in the past. Due to the violent nature of the threats written by Atkins against the president of the United States, Affiat completed an open source Facebook search of Shannon Atkins' public Facebook profile, identified as Shannon Atkins. The following information was discovered and captured for evidentiary purposes on Atkins' profile, which only serves to validate the original complaint submitted by Kite. So there goes the banned from X post right there. Here goes the other one, okay, where he said that in January 20th, the day of mourning in the U.S., okay. Jason Kite's post to him and his response, okay. Also this one right here, all stood up to Democrats. These right here, unfortunately, one is still alive, is what he said on this one. And you have Lincoln, Reagan, Trump, MLK, and I think that's Robert F. Kennedy. I'm not sure. I can't see too good on that copy. Okay, contact was made with Shannon Atkins on January 24th, 2025. During a post-Miranda digitally recorded interview conducted at West Palm Beach Police Department, Atkins was questioned about the threats of violence presented in this affidavit and also displayed in his Facebook profile. Atkins confirmed his Facebook profile to be Shannon Atkins. Atkins acknowledged he was wrong for these writings and agreed that they can be perceived as threats. Although he meant them as a joke, Atkins was regretful for each comment post he made his own Facebook profile. Lastly, Atkins remained reasonable and cooperative throughout law enforcement's encounter. Shannon Atkins willfully, intelligently, and knowingly transmitted written threats to commit violence against the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Okay. And then that is the sign off on it. All right. Now, let me explain why this says not a certified copy across it, because I know you guys don't normally see that across documents. In order for you to get that removed, you have to pay for these documents, and they want $80 for 10 pages. I'm not doing that. This is why I said to y'all, sometimes these court docs, they're expensive. They can get very expensive, especially when you have cases that have multiple documents to it. So we're going to go on to this right here. This is the court events. Okay. So it says the court date, 30 days, gives you the date right here of this is the arrest date. This is where he's at. He's at Gun Club. It's a no contact order. Okay, so he has a no contact order that is being put into place. And it says on here, I want to go down to this part right here. Bond condition, no contact with President Trump. No contact with President Trump's family. Okay, no contact order filed. So he does have an order of protection against him, against the first family. No weapons, no electronic communication devices that can access the internet. Okay, 1 count of written threats to unalive or do bodily injury. That is what this paper right here says, and I believe the next one is the actual order. So yes, this man has been given a no contact order. All right, right here. Could you imagine having a restraining order on you for the president and their family? Like, alleged victim, DJT and family. As of this moment, there is no bond. In case you are wondering, there is no bond at this particular moment. Okay. Let's get to. Okay, so this is the pretrial motion for pretrial detention. Okay, defendant is charged with written threat to unalive. Okay, I'm gonna say this to y'all. All right, then they hit defendant poses the threat of harm to the community. Now, remember in the Diddy case, they were saying that, you know, they couldn't give him bond, they couldn't give him a bail because he posed a threat to the community. Well, guess what? This is what they are hitting Shannon Atkins with, saying that he poses a threat of harm to the community. The court may also conclude, if it finds the defendant is presently charged with a dangerous crime, that there is a substantial probability that defendant committed such crime, and that the factual circumstances of the crime indicated a disregard for the safety of the community, and that there are no conditions of release reasonably sufficient to protect the community from the risk of physical harm to person. Now, here is the thing, though. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that are not going to agree with his lifestyle, but we're not talking about his lifestyle right now. This is not what this video is about at all. He has done shows in the community. He has had years of working with the community. He has a business where he services the community. He has a catering business, okay? And so to say that he is a threat to the community because of postings that he made on his social media, to me, is a little bit crazy. And I said that I was going to try to keep my opinions out of it, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little enraged by this only because of all of the threats that were made against President Obama that did not even get this type of attention. People weren't just sweeping it underneath the carpet. I'm a little upset that when the January 6th insurrection happened, that when they put around Vice President, what was his name? What was his vice president's name at the time? Pence. Because Pence would not stand with Donald Trump, they went and took and a dummy of Pence and hung it over a tree. Like, I'm trying not to get too into this like this, because I really want to save that for Patreon, because this is crazy. Okay. People. Okay, so they go on to say that the defendant was arrested for a dangerous crime that is a capital felony. So this right here to me is telling me where they are going to try to push this to, because I feel like they are going to make him an example. Okay, it's a crime that is a capital felony, a life felony, or a felony of the first degree. There is a substantial probability that defendant committed the offense, and based on defendant's past and present patterns of behavior, consideration of the criteria, and any other relevant facts, no conditions of release or bail will reasonably protect the community from risk of physical harm, ensure the presence of defendant at trial, or ensure the integrity of the judicial process. Indeed, under these circumstances, the court must order pre-trial detention, and that's what he is on, pre-trial detention. Okay. So they're not trying to let him out. These are some of the same reasons why they would not let Diddy out. So they're saying the same thing about him. Mind you, I haven't seen anything that presented a reason for any of this except for the fact that he made those posts. And let's be clear, he has become an enemy of the state now when you really think about it. And because there was already 2 attempts that were made on the president's life, you have to know that he is going to make an example out of him. Not only is an example going to be made out of him, we have to now watch how we are going to be treated as a people. Okay, as a people. This is not about lifestyle. This is not about communities that he belongs to. This is about, y'all know what this is about. And to get to the community, he's already waged war on the community of LGBT people. And now this is going to amplify that voice. Do y'all understand that? Let me tell you something. Those supporters move in unison. They move militant. Okay, his supporters are those people that have been out there going hunting for years. That look at how they scaled that wall on January 6th and the things that I said I wasn't going to do that. Anyway, this is the reason why he is still being held. He does not have a bond or bail at this moment. Because they feel like he is a threat to the community for everyone. Okay. Order granted pretrial detention. You see here, this is the pretrial detention. It was granted. So this is today's date, showing that was his court date. So he is in court right now. Okay, they gave him a notice to appear. But my question is, why is he getting a notice to appear when he's already incarcerated? All right. Now I think there's one more document here. Okay, so this is the police report. If I'm not mistaken, let me get down here. Okay, so this is what happened according to the tactical unit that picked him up. All right. On January 24th, 2025, your affiant was assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division Violent Crimes Unit. Your affiant was assisting the tactical unit with the apprehension of black male Shannon Atkins, 11/20. They gave his date of birth. Reference, that's the case number there, which probable cause existed for his arrest. Okay, your affiant and members of the tactical unit observed Atkins leaving his residence. Your affiant observed the white BMW. Okay, they gave his tag. Your affiant observed the vehicle and conducted a traffic stop. Your affiant activated the emergency red and blue lights affixed within and conducted a traffic stop in the 400 block of Pacific Grove. The white BMW bearing the tag, I don't know why they keep putting that there, immediately complied and pulled over to the right side of the road. Your affiant and Sergeant Myers asked Atkins to exit the vehicle, to which he complied. Atkins placed his hands on top of the vehicle as your affiant conducted a search of his persons, as Atkins was now under arrest. Search incident to arrest. Your affiant located 3 clear baggies containing a white powder consistent with cocaine and Atkins' right front pocket. These items were collected for testing. The suspected cocaine was tested using a Searchy Narc cocaine ID swab test and tested positive for cocaine. The total weight of all 3 baggies weighed 3.3 grams. At this time, the probable cause exists to charge Atkins with 1-count violation of cocaine possession of cocaine. Cocaine possession of cocaine. That's how they wrote that. Okay, on Friday, January 24th, blah, blah, blah. This is the same thing. Based on the facts, statements, and evidence caused by Atkins' behavior. Okay. Approximately. Okay, January 24th, 2025, at approximately 21:36 hours, Atkins, black male, arrived at 2328 Gun Club Road, which is the Palm Beach County Jail. Okay, that's the county jail. He was placed under arrest for 1-count possession of cocaine, okay, and 1 count of written threats to unalive agency case. While inside the Palm Beach County Jail, a lockdown facility deputy Rivera conducted a search of Atkins, who was wearing a gray suit jacket and black pants. Deputy Rivera removed a clear baggie containing a white powdery substance suspected to be cocaine, MDA, or PCP from Atkins' persons. Atkins suspiciously uttered, "Whoever picked me up from my house, I told them I had 4 of them, but they only took 3 of them." The white powder housed inside of the quarter-size baggie tested positive for cocaine. Okay, based on the above facts, statements, and evidence caused by Atkins' behavior, I find probable cause to charge Shannon Atkins with 1 count of induced contraband. Do y'all see how this is stacking up? So now he's being charged with contraband because when they searched him, they didn't do a complete and thorough search of him. He said, "I told them I had 4, but they only took 3. So now he's being charged with cocaine possession. He's being charged with written threats. He's being charged with bodily harm. And now he's being charged with contraband. Can't make this up. You could make it up, but why? Why? So now he has a hearing also in Gun Club. And trying to see. I don't know if we will be able to attend that hearing, but if we can, I can. Okay, he has a public defender. And again, now there is a bond order here that I am seeing, but I'm trying to see when this was put into place, because you have the bond order that was there, but then you also have them detaining him. So we are going to find out, was he bonded out today or not, because there's a no bond order in place. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but it seems like, okay, petition for temporary ex parte risk protection order. Okay. Okay, something has caught my eyes here. Correct. Freedom goes both ways. I'm trying to see what's going on in the comments. Do you want people who threaten to be prosecuted? Stop race baiting. Trump said nothing about gays. Oh, Miss Know-It-All. How am I race baiting? I have time, Taylor. No, 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 no. Click the, I wanted, no. y'all put her out? Is she still in here? No, we're not going to do this. Click the link, Miss Know-It-All. I invite you to come up and express your opinions. Because I would like to have a conversation with you. The same rules are going to apply for Instagram here, guys. That's the second time I'm dropping the link. Come up. I'm not going to attack you. We're going to have a conversation. I promise you I'm not going to attack you. But I would like for you to come up. That's two. I've invited you twice. I've stopped my content to invite you twice. No, we're only on one channel today. I'm still deciding what I'm going to do with Straight Henny Media. Miss Know-It-All, I'm going to drop this for you one more time. Matter of fact, y'all, I got this one. It's cool, you guys. Listen, y'all are listening to the content. That's the third time that I dropped the link for you. I've given you a chance to come up. I don't know who you are. But now you're out of here. Let me explain something. Let me explain something to y'all. It is cool for y'all to have your opinions and come in here, but please, please speak facts when you come up in here, because there were threats made against Kamala. There were threats made against President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama and the First Family when the Obamas were in office. There were threats that were made. There was a Vice President Pence, a dummy of him, that was hung up on the January 6th insurrection. I do know what I'm talking about. Now, I may not be able to break down politics like the back of my hand, but I know what I'm seeing, I know what I'm watching, and I know what I'm viewing. Okay? So at the end of the day, when certain verbiage is being used, pay attention to the words. This country is built on words. Okay? So when there's certain things that are going on and it's very obvious and blatantly in your face, don't come in here saying that if a white man did this, you made it race baiting, Miss Know-It-All, because that was your first comment. That was your first comment. Let me go back into these comments. Matter of fact, I'm going to do you one better before we get back into this content, because I was already anticipating something like this going on. Let me share this tab instead, and let me go over here and let's go. I think it deleted. Shoot. Let me unhide her for a second. And let me take my watermark down so y'all can see it very clearly for yourselves. Okay? Very clearly for yourselves. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Oh, it won't let me show it. But that comment that I had put up on the screen was her talking about if it were a man of another hue, a white man, forget it, because that's what she said. If it was a white man, we would want him under the jail. And then you come in here talking about race baiting, but your comments have been, you're entitled to your opinion. But no one came for you being disrespectful until everyone's seen what you were saying. Because nobody was even paying you any mind, sweetheart. But when you want to be loud like that, I will gladly invite you up to the stage so that you can come up and you can be vocal and express your views and opinions and have a healthy debate or conversation. But if you can't do that, you will be put out. Just so you know, you will get put out if you can't stand on it. I try to be fair, but no, and no. You're not going to try to place that label on me when I'm speaking facts. Anyway, back to what we were saying. All right, petitioner's full name is there, and then it says respondent's full legal name, his BMW, and all of that. And it says respondent poses a significant danger of causing personal injury to himself, herself, or others by having or any ammunition in his custody, or by purchasing, possessing, or receiving with any ammunition. A sworn affidavit regarding specific statement, actions, or facts based on personal knowledge that gives rise to reasonable fear of significant dangerous acts by the respondent is attached to this petition and incorporated by reference. The attached sworn affidavit includes a list of the quantities, types, and locations of all firearms and ammunition believed to be in the respondent's ownership, possession, custody, or control. Respondent possesses a significant danger of injury to himself, herself, or others in the near future by having in his or her control, or by purchasing, possessing, or receiving a firearm or ammunition. Relevant evidence for the court's consideration is detailed to the attached affidavit and shows that the respondent, one, was involved in a recent act or threat of violence against himself, herself, or others. Two, engaged in the act of violence, including but not limited to acts or threats of violence against himself, herself within the past 12 months. Now, that one right there has me a little thrown through a loop, because how can you say that when I haven't seen anything that he threatened himself? Anyway, it says petitioner has made a good faith effort to provide notice to a family or household member of the respondent or any known third party that may be at risk of violence in compliance with this Florida statute here. It says temporary ex parte risk protection order. All right. For the foregoing reasons, petitioner requests the court to enter a temporary ex parte risk protection order in this matter regarding respondent. 2, 1, immediately surrender all firearms. 2, have not have in his or her custody, control, possession any firearms, ammunition while this order is in effect. 3, not purchase, possess, receive, or attempt to purchase or receive a firearm or ammunition while this order is in effect. 4, abide by any other lawful relief the court may order. Okay. And this was put into place on the 25th of January. Okay. And they're just saying how he poses in this right here, how he poses a significant danger of causing personal injury to himself. Well, it says injury to herself or others by having a firearm. Okay. On January 19th of 2025, the FBI, Palm Beach County Resident Agency, received a credible complaint of written threats to commit violence against newly elected president. This is the repeat of the first document that we read, and they're adding it into the ex parte the temporary ex parte risk protection order. So he has protection orders on him for the president. And this is crazy work to me. I've never All right, case risk screening, risk protection order, okay? This case is opened right here. Circuit criminal. This is not here. That's traffic. He had a traffic case prior to this, but traffic criminal. This is. Let's go to the new court docs because I haven't read those yet. Okay, response to state motion for pre-trial detention has been put into place as of the 28th, which was yesterday at 4:45 p.m. So that was before the close of business. So it says response to state motion for pretrial detention and motion to set bond. Shannon Atkins, through counsel, responds to the state's motion for pretrial detention and requests that this honorable court set a reasonable bond. Mr. Atkins was arrested on Friday, January 24th, and accused of making written or electronic threats to unalive or do bodily harm under Florida statute and a second-degree felony. The probable cause affidavit alleges that Mr. Atkins made several posts about President Donald Trump that were threatening in nature. At first appearance, the state moved for pretrial detention. In the checkbox for motion, the state asserted that there is a substantial probability that Mr. Atkins committed a dangerous crime, that Mr. Atkins poses a threat of harm to the community, and that no condition of release would be reasonably sufficient to protect the community from the risk of physical harm to persons. An additional checkbox that claims that Mr. Atkins is being prosecuted for a capital, life, or first degree capital, comma, life, comma, or first degree felony appears to have been checked in error. When the state moves for pretrial detention, the court may order pretrial detention when considering a defendant's past and present patterns of behavior. The criteria is criteria in the Penal Code 903.046 and any other relevant facts. The state attorney has the burden of showing the need for pretrial detention. On the facts of this case, and in consideration with the information the defense will present to the court about Shannon Atkins at the hearing, the defense respectfully requests that the court deny this state's motion for pretrial detention and grant Mr. Atkins a reasonable bond. There is no substantial probability that Mr. Atkins committed the dangerous crime of making threats to unalive or harm because the alleged statement made on social media, while probably interpretable as threatening, were not true threats. The statements were hyperbolic and hypothetical, and they are thus protected by the First Amendment. Therefore, Mr. Atkins does not present a threat to the community, physical or otherwise. Mr. Atkins has no sufficient criminal history, and the state cannot show any reason that normal bond conditions will not protect the community from physical harm while the case is pending. Now, I like this lawyer because guess what? While Trump is out here fighting for freedom of speech, this would be considered freedom of speech. He has not committed an actual act. There is no substantial probability that Shannon Atkins committed a dangerous crime. The defense agrees that the statute that Mr. Atkins is accused of violating is in fact enamored as a dangerous crime in the pretrial detention status. There are also no factual dispute as to whether or not the Facebook posts issued were posted by Mr. Atkins. Whether the posts are speech protected by the First Amendment, is central. However, to whether or not there is a substantial probability that Mr. Atkins violated the statute while litigating the constitutionality of applying to Mr. Atkins' Facebook post will likely involve more intensive briefing and argument at a future date. The court should consider the argument in determining the first prong of the state's request for pretrial detention. According to the probable cause affidavit, the statements issued are: I have been banned from X because I said I hope and pray someone unalives him. History is supposed to repeat itself. We haven't had an unaliving in years. Various laughing emojis, okay? Statement 2, we know what he said. We know what those statements were. In litany of the First Amendment, okay? Jurisprudence has established The status intended to deter the criminalization and criminalize speech that is considered threatening in nature must be narrowly construed to avoid infringing on protected speech, especially in the political ring. The contours or the speech, the contorts, I'm sorry, I can't see that, contorts or these speech protections aren't necessarily bright or clear, but the courts have repeatedly held the First Amendment protects speech, even when it's offensive, disagreeable, or can be interpreted as threatening. So he's basically, his lawyer is saying to them, look, regardless to what he said, whether it was a threat, not a threat, a joke, not a joke, it's freedom of speech. So you could say whatever you want to say, is what this lawyer is saying. I agree it's freedom of speech, but all right, he goes into Watts versus the United States, okay, and goes into breaking down how freedom of speech was used in that case. He brings up 2 other cases, okay? Then goes on to Charles Atkins is not a danger to the community or a flight risk. I don't know who Charles Atkins is. I think he may have messed up with the name, because his name is Shannon, but I don't know. Let's see. Charles Atkins is a lifelong resident of Palm Beach County. He was born in Pahokee and grew up in Riviera Beach and West Palm Beach. Okay, so pause. That's Shannon. That is not Charles. I don't know who this Charles Atkins is, but that's not his name. He went to grade school in West Riviera Elementary and middle school at JFK. Shout out to JFK. Or maybe I shouldn't be saying that. To this day, he maintains regular contact with his former school teachers. He graduated Palm Beach Lakes. Shout out to Lakes. In 1997, graduated in 1997. From there, he studied an associate's degree in culinary arts at Johnson & Wales University. He has lived in West Palm Beach ever since. He has numerous family members and countless friends in Palm Beach County. He maintains deep roots here and has developed rich connections to the community and across South Florida. Mr. Atkins is a certified chef who supports himself through catering and providing private chef services. He is generous with his time and talents, and he provides community service by cooking for disadvantaged children and families through several different nonprofit organizations. He is also a comedian and entertainer with a loud voice and personality. While Mr. Atkins' roots are very deep and strong in Palm Beach County, he presently lacks the financial means to travel or relocate elsewhere. He has been struggling to meet his financial obligations, including rent and car payments that is in arrears. He also possesses a passport that he is willing to surrender if ordered by the court. Statements made by Mr. Atkins on Facebook were never intended to be any more than words. While words alone can certainly give a rise to concern for danger to the community, the pretrial detention status calls for the court to consider the context of the allegations and additional information about the accused. Numerous witnesses will be present to testify that Charles Atkins, Shannon Atkins, is a gentle and loving man who is not prone to violence. They will testify that he is a lifelong fixture in the community and that the community will be harmed, not protected, by his continual incarceration. While we can all agree that any potential threat should be taken and evaluated seriously, especially ones against the president, no additional information has been disclosed by the state or law enforcement that would tend to contradict Mr. Atkins' honest claims that these words were hyperbole meant to just in jest, and that he regrets posting them because of the trouble that it has caused. Okay. He does not own any firearms or weapons. Indeed, he has never handled or fired a pow-pow. And he had no intentions of causing any gun violence or inciting others to the same. His acknowledgement and understanding that the post could be interpreted as threats demonstrates that he is unlikely to approach this line in the future. let alone enact any violence, which should minimize any concern the court has. Whatever one's opinion may be about the wisdom of his chosen words and platform for expression, there is no evidence that he had any intent to directly threaten anyone or follow the statement up with any actions that would cause danger or physical harm to anyone. Mr. Atkins' criminal history amounts to a single adjudication for driving with a suspended license. He has never been convicted or even accused of any felony or crime involving an allegation of violence or gun use. That may mean something or matter later on. All right. The state cannot prove that no conditions of release could reasonably protect the community from physical harm to individuals. There are many potential bond conditions that could be imposed to satisfy any concerns the court may have about safety to the community. Concerns about any future controversial statements online could be satisfied by prohibiting posting anything that could be possibly construed as threatening, prohibiting posting about President Trump, or by providing access to prohibiting access to social media while the case is pending. A no-contact order with President Trump and his family has already been ordered. The further assurance could be granted by prohibiting contact with President Trump's local properties, especially when considering the evidence that will be presented on the factors of Florida statute. Then they put the statute there. The court should find that all concerns can be satisfied with reasonable monetary bond with appropriate conditions. Wherefore, Mr. Atkins respectfully requests that this honorable court deny the state's motion to grant him release on reasonable monetary conditions. Okay. And this is the public defender that is defending him. And I think this public defender did a very good job at writing this letter up for him. Okay. And then it says stipulations for substitution of counsel. It is hereby stipulated by and between the undersigned attorneys that the court enter an order permitting Mitchell J. Beers, Esquire, and Mitchell J. Beers, PA, to withdraw as counsel for the defendant Shannon Atkins in the above caption cause and substantiating the Office of Public Defenders through Michael D. as counsel. Okay, so he had a change of venue. It went from It looks like it went from Mitchell J. Beers, which is this private attorney, to a public defender's office. They arrested Shannon and are dragging him through hell, yet they are allowing people to have, for real, unalive people walk free. I agree with you. When was that? You've known Shannon since before you were taller than him. When was that? Because Shannon stands at 6'7", and I don't want to say certain things on public. I'm telling y'all now, I'm going to wait to see what the update is for this. I don't know how this is going to do in the algorithm at all, but I wanted to put this information out there because I'm not going to put the information out there. I'm just going to say this, okay? If they can let those people off on January 6th, Shannon should be able to get bail. But I would suggest that while this is being pushed under the carpet, I would suggest that you guys keep up with this for yourselves, as well as I will do my best to keep up with this as well. I wanted to go down there. To be in support of, but I did not get up early enough as I don't live near. I wanted to go, forget it, I'm gonna say it. I wanted to go down there to support Shannon because I went to school with him at both JFK and for Palm Beach Lakes when I was there. Okay. Went to school with Shannon. Was I in his inner circle? Not really, but I knew of Shannon. All right. And I've never known him to be anybody that was violent. I can say that. I'm going to say that. And I know that people left out because they're like, oh, that's why she's doing this. No, I'm also doing this because at the end of the day, this is something that we need to pay attention to, because over the years, we have watched presidents and vice presidents and first ladies be threatened, regardless to what. We've watched this happen over the years. It just seems that this overzealous person decided to contact the FBI because of what was being said online. And the FBI decided to move. But how many times have we seen countless posts that are made when Kamala was in office, when Biden was in office, even when Obama was in office, okay? And I keep going back to that because we saw things being posted and said online about unaliving of that first family. So it's very interesting that they chose to just pounce and jump on this case. And I really do feel like they're going to attempt to make an example out of him. And I challenge those people who step out and they decide that they want to step in and take cases for pro bono. I challenge y'all to take this case for pro bono. This is a time where we need our people that are in law to step up and say, I'm going to take this case and defend. It's not, I'm not race baiting anyone. I'm just saying, like, look at history and look at how things have been swept under the rug, and now all of a sudden it's being this thing. Why did you have to stop him in a traffic stop if you felt like what he was doing was that egregious? Why didn't you get him at home? You stopped him in the middle of the street. You were surveilling him. Look, I'm gonna let y'all come up. Y'all can speak and voice y'all opinions on this. And I hope that people do come up and don't just sit back and even if you have an opposing view, you can come up. The only thing that I ask is that you be factual and don't be disrespectful. That's it. But if anybody wants to come up and speak on this, because I feel like this is something that we need to pay attention to. For real. For real. So does that mean, I'm going to ask y'all this question. Does that mean that anytime we receive a threat online, are we supposed to contact the FBI for that? I just want to know. Or does that only work for DJT? Let me know. And I'm going to go through these comments. Once I go through the comments, if nobody comes up, I don't know why y'all be scared to come up here. You can turn your camera off. The captive of the... You're right, they're not. Lord help us. Okay, I'm sure lots of people threatened Kamala, but nobody cared nor reported it to the FBI. And good point. White men did threaten Madam Vice President, as in plural threats. Right. That person is a comment warrior. They're a comment warrior, but you know what? They were upset that they did not get their way. They were yelling it out loud in person. Facts. Ain't no race baiting over here. That's a fact. Threats were made every single day. Exactly. They everywhere. There are people that are speaking out against this because they just are not feeling it. Okay? Exactly. Thank you. I need to put this up here right now and let this sit for a minute because I need people to understand this. Henny Gang is from everywhere. Okay? We've got Henny Gang in France, Australia, heavy in the UK, Africa, Tobago, the Netherlands, of course, heavy in the United States, Canada. Like, we've got Henny Gang all over, all right? Uh-oh. Hey, Miss Lady, you looking cute today.
Hey, I'm trying to find somewhere to go and talk. You know me.
I know, Miss
Know
Pammy.
me. I'm on the stairwell.
Okay. Where you going? Outside?
Yeah, I was on the 10th floor.
Oh, you were on the 10th floor taking the stairs?
Yeah. I got. Hold on. I'm going to talk anyway. Uh,
Okay.
you know how I feel. We
Mm-hmm.
have to stand for something or fall for anything. And that's just how it is. I mean, we're going to have to stand together. You know, they're going to pull anything out. And the way they've treated um, many of the people that have come before him and said nothing and did nothing, everybody is going to be made an example of it at this point. And we're going to have to come some kind of way and fight back. It doesn't matter how, we just got to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get it done. If I can take this stairwell down, I'm on 6. We
Oh
can
my,
definitely band together to get this done. You know how I feel.
I know how you
I
feel.
can't believe you know him.
Well, I know of him. I went to school with him. I know
Wow.
Unique. Well, I met Uniquely, but I'm very close friends with Uniquely's cousin. I went to school with him too and lived in the same neighborhood. So it's like when I saw the picture, I was like, he looks familiar. And then Uniquely was like, did you see this? You know who that is? And I was like, get out of here, like for real, because I haven't seen him in years. And I'm like, he looked familiar. And then I was like, oh my God, that's who that is. Wow.
Wow. Well, and then as far as that contraband stuff, um, it's funny that they chose. Oh, this is a great spot to get off at right here
You said it's a great spot to get off.
in the garage. That contraband deal. My son had something like that to happen to him, and they knew exactly what they were doing because that makes the whole situation different.
Exactly.
Son got pulled over and the whole 9 yards. They checked it before he got there. He got there. They found something else. He told them. They tried to trump up a whole, no pun intended, but they tried to come up with a whole bunch of stuff on him based off of that they found contraband, and they're
Hmm.
using that. That's one of the things that they're gonna, because with that it came with like a bunch of different charges, but I'm telling y'all, we gotta do something. We gotta do something. I'm here for it. What we gonna do? What we gonna do?
We gotta
I'm here.
figure this out. That's the whole thing. We gotta figure this out. And see, the thing is, I'm all for doing something, but I'm one of those people that once I say I want to do it and we start organizing, I want to go. And I've noticed that a lot of times people say, yes, let's do, and then they don't go. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's for fear of what can happen or what. But I think people realize that there's strengths in numbers and that we actually outnumber. I think that's when that fear will, I guess, disappear. Hold on one second, Miss Pammy. LDM. Hey, welcome to the stage. What's popping?
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, I have known Shannon since I was taller than him. So that means forever. He is literally the gentlest, kindest, funniest human being that you could ever want to have in your life. And the fact that people who have actually killed people, unalived them, been acquitted, are out and threatening people
Mm-hmm.
is mind blowing, unbelievable, and we as a people should find it completely unacceptable that others have
Mm-hmm.
allowed these people to be in charge.
Right.
It's just not right. He is literally deserving of all of the support that we can give to him by amplifying this situation as you are doing, and thank you and kudos and big ups to you for that. And by raising our voices and giving him the support that he deserves, these charges are trumped up because somebody did not like the way that he looks, did not like the way that he lives his life, and is unapologetic about who he is and what he stands for. That's all
Absolutely.
this is. And that's all
Absolutely.
I have to say.
Well, thank you for coming up. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on this and keep people updated on what's going on, and I'm gonna do my best to get there to the next one because I did not get up on time today to make it to the court date, and I had every intention to do so, but I ain't wake my butt up on time. So maybe I'm looking at it like maybe I wasn't supposed to go there. I was supposed to be here and do this. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was very nervous about doing it because I don't know what's gonna happen with my YouTube algorithm. They don't like certain things, and I am going to be speaking more behind a wall about this in more great detail because there's some things that I really want to say that I can't say because this is a public platform. It is censored, not as heavily as other platforms, but it is censored. So I am definitely going to do what I can do on my end as far as raising awareness and keeping eyes on this case because I feel like as a people, this is important for us to watch. Like, this is not something that we should start making about lifestyle and all of that other stuff. Like, that doesn't matter when it comes down to us as a people. But I'm definitely going to continue to support and keep eyes on it.
I have a question, and if anybody can answer this, so how many people have y'all seen say things online? I mean, are they gonna build some new jails and jail everybody?
I have no idea. And Miss Pammy, you know for a fact I've dealt with threats against me made online in videos on this platform.
Right.
It only matters if you're a captive of the comb over. It only matters if you are one of them that is saying that what you're amplifying their alternative facts. It only matters if you are against them. It no longer matters that we live in a civil society where there can be discourse. It really has turned in you are either with us or against us. And if you are against us, we need to do everything that we can to not just silence you, but to smother you out of existence.
Exactly.
And it's not just him. It's not just people of color that have made threats. I sit here yesterday and I watched tons of videos where people were making threats. They were saying all kinds of stuff. They didn't agree with him. People who voted for him, people who didn't vote for him. I mean, once again, I'm going to say he's being made an example of. He's got several things that are against him. One is he is a person of color, and I do believe that his I don't know if I want to call it his gender choice or his non-gender.
Wow.
You know, they're
Mhm.
going. You know, they're going to definitely make an example.
Yeah.
And we got to stand together. You know, write your legislative. Write whoever you. Well, I don't want to write my governor because he was visiting California with Donald Trump last week. So.
He may not be our governor for much longer. I hear he's being floated for a cabinet position if he doesn't nominate himself to complete Marco Rubio's term. I'm telling people we got to stay woke. You got to pay attention. It's not even about like woke as in the way that they have taken it to mean something. It
Right.
means that you got to pay attention.
Real woke.
Exactly. Well, we have Miss Poppington, who is our residential hood politician. Go ahead, Poppington. I know you have to listen. She's gonna be here for a minute. We probably gonna be here till it's time for media showdown at 1 because she is very passionate about politics. Go ahead, Poppington.
Hi, ladies. I agree with you guys. They are gonna try to make him into example. The only thing that I probably will say that I know a lot of people gonna look at me sideways. I know y'all saying, they threatened this person, they threatened that person, but they tried to kill him twice. So they're going to use that. Just listen to me. That's
You're
going to
under
be
the
the
sea.
basis
You're under the
that they're
sea.
going to use for their argument. I'm not saying I'm
Popping.
not agreeing with it. I'm not saying that that's right, but this is how they're going to play this game, and it's only because they tried to unalive him twice. Um, as far as what's going on, I told everybody we was going to be messed up either way.
Are muffled.
Oh, did you guys
Seriously,
hear
They
what I
they
said?
only they
some
only
guys
tried to unalive him once. The other man never fired any paraphernalia. Like he never got a
Yeah,
shot
I,
off.
I,
They
I,
threatened. They only tried
I
once.
understand. I understand all of that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that that's right that they're going to use that, but that's what they're going to base everything on. Like I'm watching the play go now. That's what they're going to base everything on. Um, like I said, I'm sitting back and watching. I'm still sitting back and watching because I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. It seems like how when he was in the first time, how everything was going crazy. Then it seems like it's there, but it's a little more turned up. So I'm really like sitting down and watching. That's why I haven't been speaking on a lot of things, and I haven't really been saying a lot because a lot of things have been coming out and then they have to retract them, and it's been coming out and then you find out that's not what it is and stuff like that. But with this case, I just feel like I do feel that I take that stance. His color, his lifestyle, what they're gonna try to, I guess, base the premise of his arrest on. I really feel like they are trying to make him an example, and I feel like a lot of more people made more, I guess, violent threats to him, put names on it and all that. So for them not to be targeted, but for him to be targeted, it's very suspect. Very suspect.
very much so. I agree with you. It is suspect because I mean, okay, you want to put. Okay, you know what? This is first of all, thank you, Lady T, for the super chat. I appreciate you. LDM, how does this how is this hitting you that he has a restraining order on him from the White House? Like when I was reading those court docs, I'm like, what?
OMG, the
He's gonna
person
go
who should
knock
ha-
on the door.
the person who should have a restraining order about the courthouse can put that on his license as his legal address right now. But I personally am heartbroken and offended. This is not the Shannon Atkins big mama that I know. This is not the person who we grew up with. This is not the young man that I have literally seen and been eating his cooking all of my life. Like all of the things that they are portraying as are diametrically opposed to who he is. Like he's not violent.
Mm-mm.
He's not a threat. Like he may be a threat if you see him in Publix coming at you with the buggy, because he could put you in a diabetical coma with his cooking. But that is the biggest threat to the community that he could and would ever be. Like I've grown up with this man. I have watched him become the human that he is. This is just unfathomable for the people who know him, like from, like you said, JFK, from Cypress Run, from like this is not who he is. Like the person who Shannon is lives out loud every single day, but not lives out loud to make anyone else smaller or less than because of who he is. That's just not how he rolls. That's not who he is. That's not the life that he lives. And the words that they're saying probably hurt more than anything to
Right.
him. That is how kind and gentle and sensitive a soul that he is.
I don't even recall him having a fight in school.
Me either. The
Not
only fight that Shannon ever picked was to be at home on time to watch Oprah come on. Period. Full stop. So that lets you know that I know him and
Right.
you know him, because that's the biggest fight that I've ever known. He needed to be home at 4 o'clock because that's when Oprah came on.
But like I said, I'm gonna keep an eye on this. It is something we need to pay attention to, because the narrative that's being painted is, we got to understand something. I know of him. Like I said, I moved away. So me moving away, the disconnect happened, but I remember him from school. And I just remember him being a gentle giant. I don't remember him being that type of a person where any of this would be like, oh yeah, well, some people, you see that and you're like, well, yeah, I could see that. I was in complete shock when I was like, what?
This is a person who, if Shannon really wanted to, he could have like went and played professional football. But this is somebody who was like, ain't nobody gonna hit me with or without pads on. Like, sincerely, this is who he is.
And we got to remember, we know one side, the narrative is being painted for people who don't know him. So out in the world, for people who didn't have any connection with him, didn't go to any of his events, never had the chance to get any of his food, haven't even watched his social media, they're having a narrative painted about him, and it's a preconceived notion without even knowing who this person is. But that's a lot of the time what happens. But look at how even the news coverage gets run. When you have one of the clear people do something, what's the first thing they do in the news? They start telling you about who they are, what they've done, their accolades, and things of that nature. But in this instance, there's none of that being spoken of. All they're speaking of is this thing that they're saying he did, where there was no name. He didn't say he was going to do anything to anybody. And
I mean, why is he in trouble for doing what Melania think about every day? I mean, like, what's going on?
girl, you gonna get my channel? Listen,
I said what she think about. I didn't say what it is. I just said what she think about all the time.
Channel up. Then y'all go follow the second channel, because this channel might go down.
It's not gonna go dark. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not trying to unalive anyone.
I know.
But I know she done planned that. I know she got her dress and her hat, and she is ready, honey, for us to be amazed by her planning if something goes down. I don't understand what's the problem when he's just said out loud what she be thinking in public, in front of cameras. Just saying.
I was gonna say, and to be honest, if
Lord, not call a cab at Wet Willie. Now that listen. She's like, that's the only fight you see them have.
And not for nothing, talking about the news, if anything, I would have thought they would have been going after them first, because they said some crazy things about him and perpetuated a lot of things. So it's just like I said, this is weird. This is weird that he's like an average person that they went after, and it wasn't like senators, governors. A lot of people done said a lot of crazy things. So I don't know.
You made a valid point. You're right. Because when you think about it, it's true. But like I said, I don't know if court is over for him. I know they're probably at lunch now, because it's just about, well, it's a little afternoon. So they're probably going to recess soon for court. I'll keep an eye on this, and I'll give you guys an update. Make sure you guys are following Instagram, and keep an eye on the community wall, because I'm going to start making more posts to the community wall as well. If you haven't noticed, I kind of stepped back a little bit from Instagram because it's just too toxic for me. Okay, thank you for thank you for coming up, LDM. I appreciate you coming up. Yeah, and I'm gonna let you know what's going on with this. And like I said, the next time he goes to court, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna, let you guys know what's going on. And yeah, let's try to figure out, because there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that I feel, even though it comes out one way and it ends up being flipped around to be another way, it's a lot of stuff that I feel like is being done in front of our faces under the guise of something else, but it's really something else. And that's me with my tinfoil poofy hat on, because it is what it is. But anyway, thanks you guys for tapping in and tuning in. Thank you, Poppington, LDM, and Miss Pammy for coming up. I know that a lot of you don't want to come up because, number one, you're scared to come up and talk on the platform, and number two, I know a lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to get up there and talk about this girl. But I'm going to be bold enough to do it, and I'm going to be bold enough to put it out there. So I will see you guys at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Media Showdown, where we're going to get a little gossipy, okay? And y'all going to be a little entertained, all right? Because we're going to work to give y'all everything over here, all right? So thanks, y'all. Enjoy y'all lunch hour, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Wait a minute. Hold on one second. What do you say? Even if the good outweighs it by 1,000,000 to 1, they're still going to hate you for that single effing thing that they've done. You make a very valid point, Ace Brando. Thank you so much for tapping in. High vibes to y'all day. Remember to vibe high so the bullshit don't stick, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.